Over there in the woods, there is a car.
This is a 1956 Hillman Husky. The Husky was introduced in 1954, and it was neither quick nor any technological marvel. It was a simple design using proven technology, and that made it cheap. You had to pay extra to get features like a heater and a radio. With a side hinge tailgate and folding rear seats, it offered the versatility of both a light van and a passenger car, something we take for granted in modern estate cars today. The engine was a 1.2-liter flathead, developed already in the 1930s. It produced a lively 40 horsepower, and Hillman claimed the Husky could reach up to 104 kph. Quality was a top priority, which combined with the low price meant most vehicles didn't last long. This one was, as far as I can find out, taken off the road already in '62, which means it only lasted 8 years on the roads. The final years, the car was used as a farm vehicle before the owner took his own driver's license, which meant it took quite some beating. The owner can't really remember when the car was parked, but he thinks it has to be soon after he's got his license, which was in '72. So after probably 50 years of sleep, the time has come to resurrect this poor Hillman.
First things first, we have oil. Up to the full mark. Is there water in it? Don't know, but there is oil. Let's see if it cranks over. Bear in mind, it's been standing here for probably 40 years, 50 years. It turns. And quite freely, almost too freely. But yeah, I can go the entire lap. Let's see if we can get the starter to do something. I think battery is supposed to go here. Let's see if it fits. Nope. It fits. Now, this is a old British car, which means, although it is a 12-volt system, which was my first concern that it was a 6-volt, the earth is positive. That means this one going directly to the starting goes to minus. And I don't even know if there is a earth strap on this one. We have an earth strap somewhere. Does not seem... No. So we'll have to use some cables. Jumper cables it is. Let's see. This feels weird. Red to earth. Let's see if we can get a good ground here. And then let's see if this works. I can't reach. Oh. See what happens. Nothing. Let's see if the starter switch works. Nope, nothing. let's go directly to the starter. Well, something happened. Look at that. Starter works. So it's just the starter switch doesn't work. Which, I mean, to be fair, this is the state of the electricals. So I wouldn't really guess that we would have a working starter switch. Okay, first things first, the old distributor cap. See, it's connected to one. And then this one is screwed on. You know what? There we go. Cap off. So distributor is held on by these two screws here. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. The reason I'm using a adjustable wrench instead of other ones is because I assuming everything on this car is imperial and I only have metric tools. I only have metric tools here, I should say. Oh, look at that, that one came off as well. And the bugs are killing me. I don't know if it comes off on camera, but there is a lot of bugs here. They're literally swarming. Man, bugs are killing me. And then I've just applied repellent, so it's not like I'm smelling good. And I guess no one actually bites me, so that's why it works. This is a long screw, you know, and I can only do a small turn at a time. There we go. I think we have a lot of work to do with the carburetor later on, but that is a later problem. There we go. It's coming loose. Man, there weren't this many bugs last time. I don't know why there is so much more today. Weather hasn't really changed. It's still dry. If anything, a bit less warmer today. I think it's loose. There we go. Finally. I managed to find a set of breaker points on the internet, so those are on order, but might take a week before I get them here. But the fact that the engine is turning, it sounds like it's healthy in terms of compression. That means I'm fairly certain we can get this engine going. So next step is, can we get it out of here? So point of today is see if we can get some air in the tires and see if the brakes are loose. So let's get out the compressor. Ooh, let's see if I find a valve stem here. My hope is that there's a tube in these tires, because if it's tubeless, I don't think this is gonna work. Let's see. We actually have air. I did not think that. Problem is the pressure gauge is broken, so I have no idea how much air we have. And I do think it's not gonna hold much before it breaks again. Problem is I can't see the bottom, so I don't know how flat it is. Let's start with that. That's interesting. The tube itself, or wheel, holds air, but the valve stem leaks. You can hear a faint hiss here. I guess there's debris in there, so it doesn't seat correctly. Let's have a look at the other tires. Piece of car. Perfect. There it is. I mean, isn't this crazy? It's been sitting out here for probably 50 years and the wheels hold air. I'm amazed. Yeah, that one doesn't hold air at all. Because there's no valve stem in there. I don't. Hopefully that one didn't break the seal now. It did sound like it. Let's see if we can find a plug for that one. Final tire. And this one does not look healthy. And it also doesn't have a stem in it, but let's see. The stem, I don't know what it's called. Valve. Yeah, it holds air. Let's find some valves. Let's put in a valve stem. The right way. Or valve. I mean, this doesn't look like a tubeless tire, so I'm amazed that it will take air. Quite a bit. Let's see if we can get it to take air again. It holds air. Let's see. This was the only thing I found that can actually measure pressure with. At 1 bar. Let's push it a bit more. Or it's 1.5 bar. I think that's enough. I can actually see that the tire is folded here. I mean, if we get this one to take air, I'm gonna be surprised. There we go. See. Yeah, this valve stem is leaking. Let's see if we can. But I mean, the tire is taking pressure. I am amazed. Standing on the tire. We have well, not much pressure, but one and a half bar. Yeah. Good enough. And you can actually see if I shake the car that it is not now on all 4 rubbers. So let's try to make a quick jerk and see if we can actually get this thing moving. I suspect the brakes are super seized. Let's see if we can fit the... if we find something solid here. This should be fairly solid. Get it in here. I think I'll fit it around one of the arms. There we go. Let's give it a quick tug. I am surprised. The brakes are not stuck. The engine is turning. I mean, except the appearance of the car, it's like it was parked here yesterday. this thing will be driving in no time. I'm still astonished that it moved. I mean, yeah. Look at these. I mean, it's been a bit down in the ground. That is like, yeah, quite a lot. I mean, that's even with this barrel, which I assume is full, or was full at one point, probably not anymore. I thought we had to remove that one before driving just to reduce the weight of the car. Well, I guess I'll see you guys when we have breaker points. It is a few weeks later, and I have scored some new original stock breaker points for this distributor, I hope. Let's assemble it.
I never explained why I removed the distributor off the vehicle. At some point after the vehicle was parked, someone robbed the distributor of its points. And there was also some other parts missing. So my thinking was that instead of buying new points, I could buy an entire distributor off eBay. So that's what I did. But sadly, after comparing the distributors on the bench, I realized the other distributor was from a newer model vehicle and didn't fit.
As you can see, the breaker point is supposed to be connected to the cable to out through this hole, although it's supposed to be isolated. Probably, I mean, by two of these washers. But the problem is I only have one washer, because there was only one washer in the kit. Or maybe the washer is supposed to go, actually, maybe it's supposed to go here. Yeah, it's supposed to go there. Anyway, I found this grommet, which actually fits in here quite nicely. So that will work very well to isolate. There we go. Now we just need to find a screw. And yeah, I know this cable isn't much to use, but that's what I found. This is what I'm gonna connect to our spark thingy, whatever it's called, the coil. Couldn't really find the correct screws, so I have to do a special solution. I will put this long screw in from the back. Unfortunately, it's a flathead, but that's all I have. So let's see. And then I'll put the washer here. The washer is not the correct size, but it almost works. Then I'll put a nylock here. And I can see that it's jumped out already. So let's see. Let's put that one in there again. There we go. There we go. Stay there. And you also stay there. It's a a bit fiddly. I mean, this is everything I do here is just a temporary solution to see if we can get the engine to run. If the engine runs properly, we are going to do a proper solution, not with this rubber thing. And a flat head. Yeah, I think that will do it. And now I can put this cable on here. Yeah, perfect. Almost perfect. It's not exactly the right size, but it's almost the right size. Now, let's see if we can adjust this breaker so it's closed. I'm not sure how to adjust breakers actually. I mean, now this is too much and this is too little. I want the breaker to just about have contact in the middle here. I think. I've actually never adjusted breaker points. So let's make it just about open here then. Let's try that. And I'm covering the entire screen. Let's see. Closed, open. Yeah, that should be. That should be it. Let's put on the distributor cap. Let's see, like that. I only have one of these, what do you call it, things to tie it down. So I will try to see if I find something else to make it stick. Let's try with some zip ties. This is definitely not an ideal solution, but it is a solution. Yeah, I say that works. Yeah, that definitely works. And let's snip it off. If I can find a snipper. Snipper, also known as scissor. Let's hope I don't need to open it again. Let's see if we can make the cable work. It's on there. Let's not use an eye lock for this one, just to make it easier for ourselves. we go. And we are connecting it to the positive side of the ignition coil, since this is a positive ground vehicle. Are you seeing this? There we go. And I skipped this thing, because I don't have any cables that go there anyway. And I'm not gonna do a full ignition system. Basically, this is my ignition system. There we go. Let's make sure that we can actually, that we have connection. Unfortunately, I don't have any big jumper cables. Well, I only have big jumper cables. Unfortunately, I don't have any I don't have a multimeter here. All I have is this test light. So just let's make sure we have, yeah, look at that. There we go, got connection. Do we have connection there? No. So it is not working. Let's see if we can push it a bit. So do you see the light over here? Yeah, you see the light. I mean, this is, like I said, new original stock. So they could very well have oxidized. So let's see if we can clean them up a bit. At least these points shouldn't be pitted. It should just be a bad connection. There you go. No contact, contact, no Now we're talking. This is perfect. This is gonna work. Let's put in the distributor. Now, this I guess goes in two ways. That way and that way. That's tricky. I'm gonna have a look at the video and see which way it was mounted. Come to the conclusion that it was mounted this way. This, of course, is easier if you have the distributor cap open, but I don't. And it's hard to open, so I'm not gonna open it. Hello. There we go, one in. And the other. And where did I put my little spanner? Is it in the wheelbarrow? Probably. Here it is. It was in the wheelbarrow. And like last time, there's a lot of mosquitoes. Not as many as last time, luckily, but definitely a lot. There's a head bolt missing here. That's interesting. Wonder how much crap is down in that thread. I hope it's just goes down and stops, and there isn't it doesn't go down into the engine. But it shouldn't go down into the engine because there's no water in the engine. It would have been properly stuck otherwise. Just by looking at the length of all of these wires, I figured out this is the way it goes together. 1, 3, 2, 4. Oh, sorry, 1, 3, 4, 2. Yeah, makes sense. And then this one goes to the distributor or ignition coil. There we go. Let's get the battery inserted. This one goes to the negative coil. Yeah. Oops. I found that there is actually a button here. Yeah, it actually works. That's nice. And now my janky ignition setup. So I actually have an ignition switch, which is nice. I was smart enough to bring another spark plug to use to see if we have spark. Brand new one at that. So let's see what happens. I see spark. Let's hit it with some motor starter. Let's see what happens. I think it was turning over faster last time. Let's see if we can put this one on the engine itself. There we go. This is much better. don't think we're getting spark. Let's see if we can get this loose. There we go. Let's see if we're getting spark on this one. Positive to positive, negative to negative, ignition on. Yeah, we're getting spark. A good one at that. It's the next day. I've done some thinking. First of all, I reconnected. I actually realized this one reaches all the way, so I've connected the negative terminal directly to the battery. Still going with jumper leads on the grounding. I've connected ignition directly to where it should be, or I guess it should be on the electrical box, but it's actually hooked up. And I rigged up a fuel tank, thinking, I mean, the state this engine was in, why wouldn't the carburetor work? So I put a fuel tank there that will gravity feed the carburetor directly, so I'm bypassing the fuel pump. So, and I've also verified that it's now in top dead center. Could still be 180 degrees off, but all the pictures I found online seems to indicate that the distributor should be oriented this way. So let's try again. Ignition on and contact. And I see I have a ignition lead not connected. What that means, at least it's making the spark. Are we getting fuel? Let's see if we can get some starting fluid in there now. It's so close. I'm thinking the reason it doesn't start is because I don't have enough compression. Probably there is debris and rust in the valves and they don't really seal. But I just happen to have brand new spark plugs. So I'm thinking, why not change them? So unfortunately one of them will have to be an old one, because I only had 3 new spark plugs, or 1 lightly used, 2 brand new, and then I'll put the old one in at the very back here. And I mean, it doesn't hurt to have new spark plugs. I did verify all of the spark plugs. All of them fire, although one of them were quite weak. And since I was mixing and matching, we will have to live with one spark plug having one of these caps and the other ones not. One thing I also realized taking out the spark plugs was that they had different reach. Two of them were really short and two of them were really long. As far as I can tell from the internet, it's really hard to find information about these old engines. But as far as I can find, this engine is supposed to run, when we're talking NGK, the B, what was it? B6HS. And I have some B7HS. So, I mean, that's as close as we can come. But I mean, we had 3 different kind of spark plugs earlier. So definitely doesn't hurt to change them out. There we go. Let's see what happens. Ignition on. And where is my screwdriver? On fire. It is so close but so far away. Luckily I have a brand new battery, because this is taking some battery power. There's supposed to be some kind of clip holding these on, but it's gone. This one have it. I mean, we've got nothing to lose. Let's try to change the timing a bit. If we can reach it. Feels to me like this distributor is mounted backwards. I've checked that it's not backwards, but it is really hard to reach. have retarded it a bit. Let's see what happens. Now it's backfiring. And it's raining. End of today. I'm thinking that we don't really have enough compression in the engine. So I'm pouring in some two-stroke oil to see if it is the piston rings. I think this will help. And the added benefit is just a bit more oil in the engine. Never hurts, right? Yeah, in the first one I think I got too much oil in the engine. But it should be fairly liquid. Let's put the spark plugs back. I did notice after the last attempt that one of the cylinders at least got hot. But I can see now on the spark it doesn't look like it has actually gotten any fuel. So I don't really know. Let's see if this helps with compression or if it just seeps through. The good thing about the flathead is that it doesn't get stuck. Moisture doesn't get into the cylinders. But that doesn't hurt. That doesn't mean that the valves doesn't get stuck. So it could be that we have stuck valves. And in that case, I don't really know what to do. If it is piston rings, this should help. Let's just hope it is piston rings. And it's evening, so pardon me if I will wave around a lot. There is a lot of mosquitoes. I'm also going to empty out the bowl of the carburetor. I did verify that it was flowing earlier, but I don't know if this might be old fuel in it. And that fuel is very stale in that case. Old fuel doesn't taste good. It tastes really bad actually. Not recommended. But if you don't have an air compressor, you use your portable one, also known as your lungs. Let's rig up the fuel tank. Everything is rigged up, and I can see that we actually yeah, look at this. That point is way higher than the fuel tank. Let's just make it a bit lower. So I think that works better. Let's see if we can get it to run this time. Oops. It's popped. We're getting there. Are we getting hot somewhere? Not really, no. I mean, fuel is flowing, that's for sure. Come on. It is almost running. It is getting hot. I mean, there's no water in here and it's smoking out of the water galleys. The starter is smoking hot as well. I mean, I've been beating that thing for more than an hour. So pretty astonished that the battery is still holding. I mean, it's probably not a hard engine to turn over, but still, it is just going on. So I think we're gonna cut it here, let it cool, and come back another day. We almost got it to fire yesterday. It is starting, but as soon as it revs up, it cuts out. I'm suspecting we might have clogged jets. I mean, I haven't cleaned the carburetor, so it's I'm amazed it even started. So what I'm going to do is just to screw off the fuel bowl and see if I can put some starting fluid through the jets and see if that clears it up. We shouldn't get any fuel draining out now since the fuel tank is lower than the carburetor. But we'll see. Yeah. Let's put the old fuel back in the tank. Because it's not old, it's from now. It is a very simple style of carburetor. The float is actually literally floating. There is no arm or anything. And in the top of the carburetor here, there is a seat that lets in the fuel when the float is down. And as soon as it goes up, this little thing will close the valve. So it's a very simple design. Let's see if we can put some. I'm just gonna try to clean every jet I can find in here. If I can get the starting fluid to work. Here we go. Cleaning up. This would be better to do with some compressed air, but I don't have a compressor here. And yeah, there probably was a gasket here at one point. That point is not any longer, so there is no. Oh. These two bolts are different. Can you see that? Probably one of them also have some kind of adjustment. Or they might have looked the same before. See, there's some kind of keying down here. It's square. I'm gonna see if I can see any difference, but I need a phone for that, because that's the only torch I have. I can't see that there should be any difference between the screws, so I'm just putting them in whatever place they go in. Or difference between the screws, different between the holes. I put the torch down the holes, I couldn't see anything. I actually found some drawings online and I couldn't see anything. So my conclusion is probably there's a difference. I have no idea. Also, I mean, yeah, probably there should be a gasket in here, but it wasn't here when I came, so I guess it's gone. Because the bowl dropped really easily, and that means the gasket was already gone. There we go. Let's see if we can get it to start and actually run. Now the engine is a bit colder as well, which is definitely a plus in getting the not getting as hot, since we don't have any coolant. Let's see. Still need some. I don't think we're gonna get it to run better than this without cleaning out the carburetor fully. What I am going to do, however, is see if we can get some, get it in gear and get it moving with the gear. The gear shifter is broken, as you can see, but hopefully I can get it in some kind of gear. I think I got it in some kind of gear. Let's see if it jumps. Yep, that was a gear. Got it into gear, now I can get it out of gear. Go figure. Gear shifter works, it's raining, I want to go in. The engine is starting, but as soon as it starts to rev up a bit, it just dies. And I think the reason for that is that we have a clogged jet. I did have a look at a video yesterday from the Bracket Factory. Super awesome video explaining this type of carburetor, I highly recommend it. And it's a really simple design, and the way I understand it, there is one valve, or rather one jet that determines the idle, and if that is clogged, we won't get any idle. So let's take away the bowl and see if we can clean it. Yeah, also there is a missing gasket here. I mean, this is the only remnants of that gasket, and it could be that if it doesn't seal properly here, that could be another reason, apparently. I wouldn't really know, I never worked on this type of carburetor. But let's see if we can clean it a bit. I'm gonna leave the main housing on the vehicle and just try to push some starting fluid through that channel. But this one I'm gonna bring into the workshop and use some compressed air. It is a super simple design, basically 4 different channels, or whatever you call it. They even included a tool in one of the bolts. It's really meant for working on your vehicle yourself. They were different times back then. So, as I said, I did see an instruction on the Bracket Factory. Highly recommend it if you want to learn about this type of carburetor. By the way, this is a Zenith 30 VM7 carburetor, and these Zenith V-style carburetor came out in the 30s, so it's a really tested design, let's put it like that. So I'm just gonna screw out the jets down here. If I can. They've been in here for a while. Oh, wow. Yeah, they've been in there for a while. Let's see if I can get this emulsion bracket off. Or emulsion plate, whatever it was called. Let's see if we can get this one off without breaking the gasket. Because I don't have a new gasket. Almost there. Yeah, as good as possible. And And there is a lot of junk in here, so good thing I did remove it. Look at that. Yeah. Let's see if we can blow this clean. I'm really hurting the gasket here. Let's see if we can get this one loose. Need a bigger screwdriver. Yep, here we go. Carburetor is back on the vehicle. Let's see if we can get it running. How about that? It runs. Finally, it is running. I cleaned out the carburetor. Now it purrs like a kitten. It runs really smooth, actually. Well, that's the end for this summer. Time is running out. I need to go back home. And, well, frankly, I don't know if we can go any further. I don't want to run the engine for any longer periods of time due to no coolant. I did manage to get some, I did try to put it into gear, which didn't work because the clutch is stuck, obviously. So we'll see if I come back here next year. Maybe we'll try to do some more on this one. Is it worth saving? I don't know. It is very rusty. Very, very rusty. But on the other hand, the engine is running super smooth. It's a really nice running engine, and I couldn't hear any noise from it. And yeah. So, yeah, we'll see. A proper carburetor tune-up, and it might run really nice. I did try to put it into gear while it stands still and then start the engine or bump the starter, and it does jump at least, so that's something. But anyways, that's where I leave this. The 1954 Hillman, or 55 maybe it was. maybe you'll see more of this one in the future. Bye for now.